Hello, good morning, and welcome to this taste challenge. It's still nighttime, but here's proper number 12. These are two blended Irish whiskeys. Proper number 12, introduced in 2018, triple distilled, aged in ex-bourbon barrels for 4 years. Says it right there at the bottom of the label. Aged 4 years in bourbon barrels. All right. This is produced for Proximo Spirits by some undisclosed Irish distillery. It was associated with a sports celebrity, but that has ended as of last year. I paid $26.99. It's pretty good stuff. I've been enjoying it. It's very popular. I see it at all the liquor stores. Now here's the Busker, introduced in 2020, 2 years later, 2020, by Royal Oak Distillery. No age statement, but it is aged and finished in ex-bourbon and in two types of wine casks, marsala and sherry. So they use old bourbon barrels, probably to age it, and then it's finished in ex-marsala and ex-sherry barrels, which are dessert wines, high alcohol dessert wines. Okay. The Busker. This runs about $30, I think. Maybe 26. Let's check because I want to. But I got it for $10 at Walmart on closeout. True story. They had it for $10, so I bought it. I wasn't looking to buy it. And it was only like 2 years after it hit the market, they got rid of it. I guess sales were bad. Okay. It's comparable to proper number 12. Patties, Bushmills, Jameson. They're all similar. They're very similar one to another, honestly. So with these Irish blended whiskeys, it tends to come down to only one consideration. That's the price. You may as well shop price, which means, and this is real cork too, by the way, which means buy patties because they always having it on sale for $19.99. Actually, buy two gingers because I can find that for $14.99. All right, why not? Heck, okay. I need a little bit more Busker. I was trying to not pour so much. That's it. That is definitely it. So they're both triple distilled, but meaning they use three types of whiskey: column still grain whiskey, copper pot still unmalted barley, and then malted single malt barley. It's probably 80% column still grain alcohol that's aged 3 years. So they're both aged in ex-bourbon barrels. Don't know who's bourbon barrel, but the Busker is finished in ex-wine barrels, sherry, marsala, and sherry. All right. So do the screen share. Proper number 12. There we go. It's talking about they use the finest single malt and the finest ex-bourbon barrels. But yet it's $26.99. Now, how could they use the best bourbon in the world and the best single malt whiskey and it's $26.99? Doesn't seem to make sense. All right. Here's the Busker World Whiskey Award 2024. Silver medal. So they're saying it was good, but not great, like a B. I guess a bronze medal would be like a B minus, or obviously a gold medal would be an A. All right, I've got a glass like that, actually. There's the three barrels. They got two bottles they came out with. I haven't seen those around, but like I said, the Busker kind of died out. What's this one? The single grain. I have the single grain. Beautiful glasses there. It's kind of one note. Proper number 12. There you go again. Okay, Total Wine and More. Let's see what they have for. Not even going to check Walmart because, like I said, they cut it. They both amber gold, so I can start mixing them up here. Let's see. I already got tags at the bottom of the glasses anyway. So. The Busker. $42.99. That's outrageous. I would never pay that. And I got it for $10. I don't remember what Walmart was selling it for because I never had any interest in it. You know, I wasn't opposed to it. I just wasn't interested in it. And then when they dropped it to $10, I'm like, yeah, I'll buy it. Heck. All right. Fitness Frank says, wow, that's a deal. I know. It was amazing. I mean, I wasn't planning to buy whiskey that day, but when I saw it for $10, I was planning on it all of a sudden. I bought both the same day. They had the Busker, this triple distill, and then they had that one I was showing you, the single grain. They were both $10. And, you know, by the end of the day, they're all the bottles were gone. When Walmart does a closeout sale, they do a closeout. Okay, these are both amber gold, so the appearance doesn't matter. This one might be a little lighter. I've gotten so many deals at Walmart. Old Charter, $9. Tullamore DEW, $13. Bird Dog Bourbon, $10. That one from Kentucky, that Green Law or Greenbrier, I think it's called. Tennessee whiskey. I've got it in the other room, $10. That thing's normally like $38. I got Sombra Mezcal, $15, regularly 30 something. Got the Cristalino from what's the name of that tequila? Salsa, but it's Hornitos, their specialty tequila. Hornitos, 100%, because Hornitos is the all agave, 100% agave, no filler. Would pick up about 4 or 5. Right, I get it. Hornitos Cristalino, that's like $39 last time I checked. They had it for $10. A lady I work with, she was like, I'm going to go buy it when I get off of work. I said, they're probably not going to have any left, but you might find it. She said, it'll probably take me 10 years to drink it, to even get to open it. She said, because I got so much tequila, but I'll get it and eventually I'll drink it. She went over there after work. She said they had 1 bottle left, pushed way to the back. People didn't see it, so she bought it. So yeah, and then I had found the Evan Williams 1783, not the regular Evan. My hair is falling in my face. 1783 Evan Williams. What is the deal here? Evan Williams 1783 for $9. I know I'm missing some. I know I'm not mentioning all of them. So yeah, every time I go to Walmart, I'm passing by the liquor section just to see, you know, did they haven't done that in a while, you know, like super discounts, but and during the years that they did, I was taking advantage of it. Okay, here we go. Same old story. Smell like cereal grain. It smell like breakfast cereal, you know, the unsweetened, like I call it old people cereal, Special K, Great Nuts, Bran Flakes, that kind of stuff. Stuff that children hate, you know. But it smells like that. But of course, 40% alcohol. Yeah, same thing here, but maybe a little wine tweak. Maybe a wine tweak. And it is tweaked with wine at the end. how long is it finished in wine barrels? I couldn't say, maybe 3 or 4 months, but I don't know. Could be a year. I don't know. I'm thinking months. Months though. When they don't tell you specifically, then you can't really. All right, well, all you can do is guess. All right, taste time. Cheers. Now I know the proper number 12 has a heavy honey flavor. Now, there's no honey added, but they say on their website it's really strong in honey. I don't know how they achieve that. Something to do with the grains, but I'm not too sure over here. All right, taste over here. See, I think this has a lot more honey flavor. Now, the proof won't matter because they're both 40% alcohol. Aging, 4 years. Busker, I don't know, probably about 4. They don't want to say. Anytime they don't want to say, that means, yeah, it ain't too long, because if it was 12 years, they'd be bragging about it. 12-year age, right? So far, I have 12 wins. No, 9 wins, 3 losses. Because I've done 12 challenges, so I can't have 12 wins. 9 wins, 3 losses. Not the best. 75%. But it's been tough because proper number 12 doesn't really stand out. It's like pretty much like all the rest of the stuff. It's not worse, but it's not better. It's just in the mix. So makes it tough. I'm not tasting too much honey over here, but I still, this one, I don't know. It tastes like I've got that wine finish. So am I saying that you should buy the cheapest Irish whiskey you could find? My experience with these challenges with Irish whiskey seems to indicate that that is what you should do. Okay. Because the cheapest one I find, they as good as the more expensive ones. Okay. I think proper number 12 is I paid the most for that than any other. $26.99. I don't think I ever paid higher than that. I think the Jameson, I got it for like $22.99 when I bought it. And Bushmills was like, I don't know, $19.99 at the time and all. And like I said, the lowest price was $14.99. The highest price $26.99. So that's $12 difference, and I'm not seeing much difference. Not in quality, a little bit in flavor, a little bit. So this is me. I would shop price. I'm just telling you. If I was looking to buy Irish whiskey, and I'm not because I got too much unopened as it is, but if I was looking to buy some just to drink, I'd go. Next time I was in Metairie, Louisiana, it means a little farm, Metairie, La Metairie, the little farm. Next time I was in Metairie, I would stop by International Market and buy another bottle of 2 gingers for $14.99. Simple as that. I'm not going to pay extra for these things that all taste about the same. It's kind of like buying light beer. You say, oh, yeah, I got to buy this particular light beer because it's so amazing. I love Michelob Ultra. It's so much better than the others. Yeah, it might be like the tiniest little bit better. No, it might be minimally better, but it ain't way better. And but it's way more expensive. So I don't get that. And I could get Milwaukee's Best Light for much, much cheaper. And I'm not really convinced that Michelob Ultra is any better than that. Anybody, you say, but that's a cheap brand. That's a cheap brand. Well, everybody knows that. Do a blind taste test. And honest, do it honestly. Don't sit there and if it's blind, you got to be honest because you don't know which is which. And be open-minded though. And there's a good chance you're not gonna be able to tell them apart to start with. Secondly, if you do tell them apart, it's going to be so close. I think so close, so very close, like these two here. Okay, so I'm going to say that that's the proper number 12, just because I'm getting more honey nose flavor on it. I mean, oh my goodness, that is the Busker. And what did I say earlier? The wine, that wine note. So I fooled myself. I cheated myself, like Amy Winehouse said. I cheated myself, like I knew that I would. Oh, you can see me going back and forth on this one. I couldn't get it right. So that puts me at 9 wins, 4 losses. Oh, I'm so angry. Oh, I'm so angry. Now, I only have 2 left. I've got the Busker single grain, and I'll never confuse that. That's not possible. It's not even really a good challenge because single grain is like it's got stuff missing, like the copper pot still and the single malt. But they sell it like that because they know people are goofy and will buy it. Like they're going to sell a piece of the whiskey, just the grain part, the grain column still grain whiskey, and like it's like you getting something extra, but you're actually getting something twice less. Oh, but they got it at a little higher proof, so they're selling it a little bit higher proof. They didn't water it down as much, but still no good to me. And then I've got that Eyed and Stills, a new one, well, 3 years old, produced by, I can't remember the company. Well, no, I don't know who produces it. It's procured by a company. Procured means they get it for Total Wine and More. It says on the website, this is sold only at Total Wine and More. So one of those captive brands. But that will be tough. Now I paid $17.99, I'm pretty sure, and it's nice, but it doesn't stand out. It has a pretty label. Doesn't stand out. Have you ever tried Ray and Nephew Overproof Rum? No, but I've seen it for years. Joe Cobb says, morning, Ron. I've seen it for years at Walmart, and I know they use that stuff. They light it on fire with like the Bananas Foster. They use that for like Bananas Foster because it's so high proof it'll blow up like a bomb. Mixes well with grapefruit juice, huh? Somebody at work was talking about when they were teenagers, one of their friends drank so much of it he was very, very sick. I was like, why would somebody be dumb enough, A, to drink any rum excessively? And secondly, why would you ever think about drinking overproof rum, 151 proof, and drink a whole bunch of it? That's like insanity, But very strong stuff. Be careful. It's a nice rum, unique taste, herbal, and kind of like rotten fruit. Oh, yikes. Like some of these scotch tastes like rotten fruit, rotten vegetable, and rotten, damp, moldy grain. Yes, I would try overproof rum. I have no axe to grind against it. Yeah, young people do stupid stuff. You're right. I have no axe to grind, but it's just that I just haven't bought them. Like I could have gotten the one from Philadelphia. Well, I mean it's from the Caribbean islands, but it's bottled in Philadelphia. That I have a bunch of it left, but they had the overproof, but I didn't buy it. But they had it, and then they had Ray and Nephew at Walmart. They used to make Bacardi 151, but they stopped it. I don't know why. Even Bacardi wouldn't answer the question on their website. Frequently asked questions. Do you still make Bacardi 151? Oh, no, we decided not to make it anymore. But they don't explain why. I was like, well, didn't people buy it? They still make Castillo overproof, which is made by Bacardi. So that's like, well, you own Castillo. They bought that out a long time ago, that company. And they might have already always owned it. I think Castillo might have just been a cheap Bacardi knockoff from 1914. Because, Bacardi's been having operations in Puerto Rico for a long time. And Catania is the town. It could have just been a cheap brand that kind of like old Milwaukee for Schlitz, something like that. But whatever, they do make a 151. So that's strange. Best standard rum I've tried is the Cuban Havana Club 3-year. Yeah. Well, we can't get that in the United States. We can get Havana Club from Bacardi because they own the trademark in the United States. When they escaped from Cuba, they just took the recipe with them. And then the Cuban communists who stole their business, they started selling it like it's their product, you know. Oh, this is the real Havana Club. Well, it's really not the real Havana Club. It's what you stole and you're selling it. Also look for Gosling's Black Seal. That is nice. Yeah, I can find that. Uh-huh. Yes. I can find a few different Goslings. The black strap version and it. To be fair, I've never tried the Puerto Rico stuff. Okay, so I've never tried either one. I never tried the communist one. It's funny because I think if I drink it, I'll start reading Karl Marx writings, and I'm unanimous in that. No, but and I never tried the Puerto Rican one. I have been to Puerto Rico though. I went there in January. Never been to Cuba. I can't go to Cuba because I don't have permission. But I went to Puerto Rico, and I bought some rum there. It was made for Puerto Rico. They don't sell it over here, I don't believe. Good stuff. That Boricua. I have been to Cuba, and they do like to drink. Nice people, though. Yes, I work with some Cubans. And I wanted to tell them, well, if Cuba's so great, why are you here? You know, I mean, why'd you leave? If it's so wonderful. Well, they know why they left, because they wanted to get the hell out. Redbreast and Green Spot, good Irish whiskeys. Yes, sub 10. I'd like to try those. I like 10. Like 10 years ago, me and my mom had to explain to them how United States dollars was worth more than Cuban and euros worth the most. They just don't have the education or economy. Yeah, and they still take tips secretly, even though it's forbidden. The whole thing is a joke. I mean, if they didn't have that government, that thing would be like, they would probably be like Walt Disney World, Cuba. They would have all the newest things there. But when you got gangsters running the country, they handicap it, you know. But enough of that. I mean, if I was Trump, I would just open free trade with Cuba. I'd say, how about this? We'll trade with you. Our people can go there. You can come here. Free trade. No tariffs on you. No tariffs on us. But they wouldn't go for it. You see, they wouldn't go for that because it would undermine their ruling power, because then everybody would start experiencing free enterprise, and they'd be like, this is what we could have had all along, and we got these gangsters running the country. They will overthrow them, you see. They wouldn't really go along with it. It's like China. They'll go along with trade, but it's not open trade. They got to be careful because they know they're on a slippery slope. Like they know that they could get overthrown kind of fast. You know, you say, well, they got an iron grip on China. They do, but it's not as iron as you think. You know, when probably 85% of people cannot stand you, you're on a bad shaky ground. You say, well, and we know the precedent is there because who you would have thought in 1988, this guy Ceausescu, he's going to be on the throne forever, the red throne in Romania. No one is going to ever get rid of Ceausescu. He's got an iron grip. But he found out how strong that grip was. Yep, Cuba's so controlled they have two separate pesos, one tourists and one the locals can use, all to control the money. A lot of Chinese people do protest their government on apps like WeChat, just don't hear about it. Yeah, so that's the thing that could explode. You know, China could explode any moment. I'm not saying the U.S. should encourage that. I don't believe in meddling in other countries' business. I'm not into all of that imperialism, okay? But I just think it could blow up, just like East Germany, Hungary, Czechoslovakia, Poland, Romania, Bulgaria. Yugoslavia is the worst example. Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, and the rest in the Soviet Union, the rest of it. It blew up because people were tired of that garbage, you know. And somebody was saying, I was shocked by your video the other day because you were defending a right-wing politician in France. I wasn't defending a right-wing politician in France at all. I was saying that the government, all I was saying is that the government of France was playing with fire because they were trying to prosecute her and maybe fine her. But the whole reason they were bringing charges against her was not because she did anything criminal. They know she didn't. They doing it because they don't want her to run they don't want her to run for president in 2 years because they're scared she's going to win. But if you try to prevent people from voting correctly in an honest election, you could find yourself overthrown. This happened in Austria in 1938. They had a president. His name was Schuschnigg, I'm pretty sure. He would never let the people vote on if they should reunite with Germany, because he knew they would vote to reunite with Germany. So he kept saying, oh, no, there's some kind of technical reason we can't do it, or we're going to look around, we're going to get into it, we're going to see about that, and all of this. And it just kept building up, like all this pressure kept building up underneath him. And he had like 90% of the people wanted to have this election. And he was like, no, we're going to see. And then Germany, next door neighbor, sent troops in. And then the people were all celebrating, like, yay. You know, it was like, oh, well, you could call it an invasion, but if 90% of the people are throwing flowers at you and shaking your hand and saying, thank God you're here, is that really an invasion? And even the British had to laugh about it. They even put it in a British newspaper. What did they say? I don't know. They made it like a joke, like, yeah, I mean, we know the people wanted it. And then they did have an election after saying, do you approve of this merger? And they say, yeah, it was like 95%. And even the British investigated it and said, there's not really any evidence that it was a rigged election, honestly. But that thing happened in the Czech Republic, Czechoslovakia. They were saying, no, we can't break apart. We can't break apart. But they knew it was about to blow up. That was the thing. The Czechs knew it's about to blow up like it did in 1939, when we didn't want to let the Slovaks have a choice. So they were like, man, forget it. Just let them leave. And so January 1st, 1993, they just cut a line through the middle of the country, and Slovakia went on their own with their own government. They should have done that in 1939. They just said, let them go, because they knew Germany was using that as a pretext to invade. You look at Sweden and Norway. Sweden used to rule Norway. The king of Sweden was the king of Norway until 1905. The Norwegians couldn't stand that. I don't know why they were worried about it, because they had their own parliament. They let them do what they want. But they just were like, they were fixated on this, you know. We can't stand having this Swedish king. We're not a free country. It was like, well, what does the Swedish king do to you? Oh, well, his portrait is on the wall. Yeah, but if you pass a law, does he ever stop you from having the law? Well, no, but his portrait's on the wall, and he's not Norwegian. He's actually not even Swedish, because it was the Bernadotte family, and they were from France. They were one of Napoleon's generals, field marshals, Bernadotte. But anyway, they decided they're going to declare independence from Sweden in 1905, and Sweden thought about attacking them. They were like, state of emergency, called all their troops up to the border, and then they're like, man, let them go. Who cares? Can't stand these people, you know. And then when Germany invaded Norway in 1940, Norway was like, we need help. We need help. Sweden's like, don't call us. You didn't want us when everything was going fine, so don't call us when things are going rough. And they didn't even dare calling them. You know, that wouldn't have happened in if they would have never broken away, they would have never happened. You know, it wouldn't have happened. Germany would have known. They would have been at war with Sweden and Norway if they would have attacked. So sometimes you don't know what's going to happen till you do it, right? And then you're like, uh-oh. All right, anyway, let's look at the last comments. So the winner here is obviously the Busker, because I could not really tell it apart. I could sort of, because you notice at the beginning when I did aroma, I was saying wine, and then I undermined my own estimation. Yeah, China relies on the U.S. dollar for about a lot of foreign projects. Not good how they control cobalt and copper in Africa, or how their people have like no labor guidelines. That is how they can undercut everybody. Right. If you protest about your job conditions, then you don't show up for work the next day and nobody knows what happened to you. I try not to think about it all the time. I have Cantonese family, not blood related. They are great people. They came to Canada and they say they like it here a lot more. Yeah, I'm sure they do. Yeah, the Sudetenland. Well, no, I wasn't talking about that, but yeah, that's how I feel when people say Canada isn't free, because we are a dominion. They don't do anything but choose the governor general. Right, the King of England just chooses the governor general, and he really doesn't even do that, because if the prime minister says, "Oh, I want this lady Mary to be the governor general," the king's like, "Okay, you chose her, you probably want her, so okay." Canada has problems, but being a dominion ain't one of them, really. No, that's the least of their problems. Anybody that says that is trying to get your attention off what the real problem is. Okay, anyway, yeah, because Canada is like Norway and Sweden in 1905. Canada has the same king as England, but you can't. And these people in Canada, they're so comical. You know, they're like, we need to have a republic. We need a president. Oh, why? Well, because I got to think of something. Yeah, right. You got to think of something, because you can't come up with a real answer. Because you want to be like the United States. You just said you don't like the United States, but you want to be like the United States. You want to have a president. Oh, you could have President Trump. Oh no. Enjoy the rest of your day, Ron. Making my morning coffee. A lot of people like the idea of a republic because of the U.S. But then they'll turn around and say, America, their system is terrible. It's a terrible country. But then on the other hand, we want to be just like them and not have a king. Well, you just said it's terrible, and you're always talking about how you're so much more like England with their better government. So you can't. It's like, what are you talking about? You know? Yeah, the Commonwealth. So yeah, it's like double talk. You can't have your cake and eat it too, right? Because if you eat it, then you don't have it anymore. But that's what they want to do. They want to have cake, eat it, and still have it. It's not possible. They want to have everything and nothing at the same time. All right. Thanks, everybody, and I'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.